Welcome back to the Virtual Handshake training. Now, Module 3 is potentially the most important topic in this whole training here. When we talk about taking proven selling strategies, traditional stuff that works offline, and doing it in the online world, building a connection with your audience, with your prospective buyers, and with your existing customers. Building that connection and enhancing that relationship over time can be very difficult, but if you do it right, it can be very powerful as well. So I want to shine some light on the importance of building connection and specifically some tips on how to actually do this well. So let me first define what I mean by connection. It's creating a personal relationship with your customers by being real and genuine. Now, that can be a bit of a stretch for some people. A lot of people, when they enter selling online mode, when they get into this online selling mode, they feel like they want to be anonymous. They feel like they don't necessarily have to be as real of a person, or they can kind of hide behind a pseudonym or a different pen name or whatever. And that can be done. But what I want to focus on is for people, hopefully like you and me, that aren't really so concerned about doing that and that are not afraid to put their name on what they're doing, to get out there and be a real person. Because think about it. For long-term selling relationships, you likely get to know the person who is selling something to you. I think of my financial advisor. I got to know her for a good 6 months before I ever even considered giving her my business. Somebody who happened to meet at a business function, and she gave us my wife and I, all kinds of great advice, and was just very friendly, and sent us some emails, and even gave us some connections to other people that had nothing to do with her trying to sell to us. So she established well before we ever gave her our business that she was somebody that was real and genuine, and she cared about us. And then, when we reached that level with her, is when we decided to go with her as our financial advisor. And years later, we're still happy with that decision. But we made the decision because of that real connection that we made with her. Now, we happen to make that connection offline in the real world by having coffee meetings and sitting down face to face. But that can still happen online. And I just wanted to paint that picture for you to remind you that this is how real, effective long-term selling takes place. So you have to be willing to step out there and to be a real and genuine person, share stuff about yourself, and learn stuff about your customers and your prospective customers so you can make real connections, so they feel like they know you. And so how do you do that? How do you make a connection when you're not really physically getting together? You're not sitting down for coffee. And maybe you will eventually, but if you're selling online, chances are there's going to be people all over the world buying your stuff, and there's probably going to be cases where people will become your customers and you never actually meet them in the real world. So that's kind of mind-bending for some people if you're used to selling in the traditional offline world. So first and foremost, I've already said this once, but being willing to use your real name and identity. Now, okay, I've granted there are going to be cases where that doesn't make sense for you or it's not part of what you want to do. Fine. But right now I'm speaking to what I believe is the majority of people who are willing to use their real name and their real identity and say, look, my name's George Smith, and here are the things that I do, and this is what I believe in, and here's why I believe you should buy my products, and so on. So put your real name on it. Give your real identity. Share the reasons why you're in business and why you've created this product or this service and why you believe in it so much. The more you do that, the more you share your story and your identity and be real and genuine, and even tell stories about your family or what you do outside of work, your interests outside of your line of business, the deeper the connection you create with people. Again, that can be pushing your limits, your comfort zone a little bit, but the people that sell the most effectively online tend to do this stuff really, really well. And again, I've already kind of covered this, but telling personal stories, sharing relatable information, you would not believe the number of times for me as a seller and also as a buyer where I've connected with people outside of the primary topic of business. Again, that back to my financial advisor story. That lady that my wife and I connected with, who ultimately became our financial advisor, we connected on many, many other levels. She referred us to a massage therapist who we now use. She gave us access to a trade show that my wife wanted to get into. I mean, these were things that had nothing to do with the whole idea of financial advising and how we should manage our money, but there were the things that we could relate to her on other levels. And so that made us that helped her create a deeper connection with us. Not only that, she had grandkids and we have children, and so we could relate in the fact that we're all in this mode of dealing with kids all the time. So we could share some funny stories there. That created an even deeper connection. So you can see how this all ties together. Now, how do you create an even deeper connection? How do you take this a step further? Taking time to meet your clients. Now, again, if it's only going to be done in the online world, phone, email, Skype, Facebook, Google+, Hangouts, there are so many pieces of technology available today that allow you to take a connection and enhance it, to make it deeper. But for some reason, a lot of people think that, well, because I'm selling online, I don't actually need to get to know my customers. It's going to be a website that does the selling for me, and another website or another web page that delivers what I've promised, and then maybe a customer support page that does all of the back and forth communication if they have any questions. And yes, that's probably going to be the case. There will be these pages that are interfaces to your customers. But that does not mean that you as a business owner, as the seller of this information or of this product or the service or whatever, should not be reaching out and actually making a connection with that customer. You should be, and a lot of people don't realize this. So why not, on that thank you page, take a moment to capture the information of your customer at a deeper level. Get their phone number, get their Skype ID, get their mailing address, or get their Facebook information. Reach out and make a personal connection. Give them a phone call and thank them for their business. Send them a thank you card in the mail. You can think of all these different things that you would probably do if you were selling cars or selling insurance or doing any kind of traditional sales role offline. Why would you not do that now that you're selling something that's in the online world? The cool thing about this is a lot of online sellers aren't really doing this stuff. Some people are, but the majority of them aren't. So when you take some time to go above and beyond and meet your customers, get to know them, reach out, become a real person to them, you're going to make a connection that's way deeper than 99% of your competition, and that will allow you to create many more of those sales funnels, those conversations that I mentioned in the previous lesson, that will allow you to sell more and to create more opportunity. Not only for yourself, but even in affiliate relationships. If you want to make some money by referring your customers to some of your partners, well, your customers are going to be much more likely to take your advice and buy those recommended products because of these deep connections that you're creating with them. Now, this is a specific action item that I want to talk about for a couple of moments here. It's the importance of using video and photo. Now, I want to highlight this here because there are a lot of online sellers that are consciously aware that video and putting your photos and putting your name out there is a good idea. But there are drastically few number of people that follow through on that awareness that it's a good thing to do. So I want to push you in this training to become the person in that small minority that actually steps out, gets on camera, and starts creating videos that allow you to create these deep connections. Because if you get on video and do everything that I say on this slide, use your real name and identity. Tell personal stories. Share from your heart. Even if you're not a great speaker, but just share honestly why you believe in this product that you've created, why you believe in this service that you've created, and give them the honest truth of who you are, why you created this. What are the chances that you're going to connect with that person at a deeper level than if you just put it in text or if you just have a picture explaining why they should buy this thing? You know what the answer is. So let's go back to that sales funnel example, and I've got a picture here. And let me bring it all up right on the slide here of a little video. This is a simulation, but imagine your typical sales funnel scenario. Let's go back to my really simple example where you have a free offer. It's something like, let's go back to my customer that I talked about in the very opening module of this course. He wanted to create a healing music type of offer, and his freebie was going to be a report on the benefits of how healing music can help you de-stress and be used as a tool for self-improvement. Well, that's a great free offer. And the upsell could be, some healing music that they could actually buy. And then the thank you page could be some continuity. Stay tuned for more tips on how healing music can help you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and maybe some referrals to some of his partners or whatever. We can talk about the longer sales process later. But how much more effective would that conversation be? Would that sales funnel be if he was on video in all of these aspects, in the blogs and the podcasts and everything leading up to the sales funnel, as well as the funnel itself. The freebie offer, a video of him on camera saying, "Hey, I've got this great freebie for you that I've created, and here's why I created it. Here's what it's going to do for you. Here's why I believe in it so much. Here's what it did for me. And guess what? All you have to do is send your name and your email, because I'd love to keep in touch with you, and I've got some other offers that I think you'd like. But first of all, just check out, this great freebie I've put together for you. I think you'll love it." And then they get to the upsell. "Oh, thanks so much for taking action on my freebie. You might be interested to know that I've also got this healing music download. It's normally, $20. You can have it today for $10. Try it out. No risk, 30-day money back guarantee, whatever." That's also a video. He's on camera explaining it from his heart, why he believes in it, why he thinks you might want to buy this thing. It doesn't have to be a pushy sales pitch. It can just be an honest pitch, an honest approach. And then they get to the thank you page, another video where you're branding, you're explaining, or you're thanking them for their business, and you're telling them where they can go for support, for help. If you have any problems, do this. If you'd like to know more, here's some information. Fill in the form below with your phone number, and I'll give you a call at a convenient time for you, and we can discuss anything else that I can help you with. You see where I'm going with this? The more places you put video and you brand yourself as an expert and as somebody who genuinely cares about your topic, the deeper the connection you are going to make. Now, instead of selling as an anonymous person online, you're a real person. The person could be on the other side of the globe, but now that person feels like they know you. For me personally, I do this in my selling all the time, and I cannot tell you the number of times I've got onto calls with people for the first time that we've ever met in a real world situation when we're talking. They say they feel like they already know me because they've seen my videos. They've seen me selling to them. They see me thanking them for their purchase, doing it in a video format. Same thing for me as a buyer, and I'm sure the same thing exists for you as a buyer. When the person selling you something has taken the time to get on camera, explain what they do, thank you for your business, and so on, you feel that connection. You remember them more. They stand out from the crowd. You remember them. Let's say you've bought 20 things in the last month. You probably remember that person who got on video ahead of the other 19 people if the other 19 didn't do video. So that is the power of all of this. So exercise number 3, you should go ahead and complete that now, is to make a checklist. Make a list of all forms of connection that you can make with your audience, and I want you to specifically think about stepping out of your comfort zone if that is something that you're not comfortable doing. Get outside of that comfort zone and create videos. Where can you create videos? Can you start by just putting some stuff up on YouTube? In your sales funnels, can you do videos at each and every step of the process in the sales funnel to make that conversation more realistic? It's more like an offline selling situation when you're on video explaining yourself, using the technology that's available today. There's no excuse to not create video. You can go to the store right now and grab an HD webcam for like $50 and create good quality videos that you publish on YouTube, and YouTube hosts it for free. Budget is not a concern here. It's your comfort zone that's a concern. So be one of the few that steps out and does it differently, and watch how much deeper of a connection you make with your audience.